You can treat your 30s like a chaotic pile of obligations, or you can treat them like the most powerful investment period of your life. Here's the secret. 3 decades from now, you won't remember how many likes you got or which trend you joined. You'll remember one thing: what you kept. Stay with me. I'm going to show you the handful of choices that actually compound in your 30s and the mistakes that quietly steal decades from your future. Hit subscribe and type 30s in the comments and tell me where are you from. Career and purpose. Don't climb the wrong ladder. Imagine two people, same degree, same hustle. One is 30 and they've been promoted 3 times. A resume that looks perfect. The other has changed jobs 3 times, learned new skills, and has a messy, exciting portfolio of work. 10 years later, who's irreplaceable? Here's the pattern. The ladder looks pretty. The jungle gym builds options. In your 20s, you were allowed to chase titles. In your 30s, you need leverage. The kind that survives markets, bosses, and bad timing. I spoke to a woman, call her Maria, who spent her early 30s chasing promotions. When the company restructured, she was laid off. Her friend, who'd spent the same years learning product design on nights and weekends, was suddenly the most hireable person in the room. Maria had climbed. Her friend had compounded skills. Start asking different questions. Not, how can I get promoted, but what skills will make me replaceable in the best way? Use the 2-year skill test. If your next role would be easier without this skill, stop it. Invest in the skills that open doors, not just titles that close them. Block 1 hour a week to practice a transferable skill. Code, persuasion, writing, systems thinking. 2 years of consistent, focused practice compounds more than a single big leap. You can't do great work without energy. That brings us to what your doctors probably won't shout about: health. Health, the quiet multiplier. People treat health like a future problem. I'll sleep better when I retire. That's backwards. Your body runs like an account. Every poor night of sleep is a withdrawal. Over a decade, those withdrawals add up. Picture a man named Josh. In his early 30s, he joked about being young and invincible. He worked nights, drank too much coffee, and lived on takeout. At 34, he started waking up with brain fog and panic attacks he'd never felt before. No urgent illness, just a steady erosion. He started one small habit: 20 minutes of walking after lunch. 6 months later, his sleep was deeper, decisions were clearer, and the panic faded. Sustainable habits, not peaks. Your future self is counting on small daily deposits: sleep, movement, protein, and stress management. Sleep goal: set a non-negotiable bedtime, 7 to 8 hours. Movement goal: 150 minutes of moderate activity per week, or 5 to 10 minute micro workouts daily. Mental hygiene: 5 minutes of morning awareness, meditation, and 1 weekly mind check with a friend or therapist. Better health equals more cognitive capital. You'll get more back on every hour you work if your brain is functional. Health keeps you in the game. Relationships decide if the game is worth playing. Relationships: cure it, don't collect. Your 20s taught you to meet people. Your 30s teach you who to keep. Think of relationships like a garden. Some plants need pruning, others need fertilizer. Sarah kept everyone in her circle because she feared loneliness. At 33, she was exhausted and emotionally flat. When she began pruning, reducing energy drains, and investing in 3 deep friendships, her life changed. Career doors opened. She felt seen. Not because she had more friends, but because the right ones amplified her growth. Apply the 80-20 test to your friendships. Which 20% of relationships deliver 80% of your connection, support, and joy? Double down on those. The rest? It's okay to let go. The 3-month experiment. Stop initiating with people who never initiate. See who returns. The curiosity test. Invest in people who ask questions, not just those who talk about themselves. The reciprocity checklist. Is the relationship mutually nourishing? Romantic relationships are different. Don't leave solely because things are hard, but don't stay because comfort is easier than growth. Pruning creates space. Space that financial wisdom will fill. Money and freedom, the real math. Your 30s aren't about getting rich fast. They're about creating optionality. The math here is merciless. Compound interest isn't a suggestion, it's a time machine. Invest $200 per month at 25 versus at 35. At an 8% return, the 25-year-old has roughly twice as much by retirement. That decade difference is a life changer. Habits, not income. Automate savings, build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, and learn basic investing. Index funds beat speculation more often than not. Pay yourself first. Make saving automatic. If you never see the money, you won't spend it. Cultivate options. A side skill, a freelance funnel, a small asset that generates income. Options are the hedge of the 30s. Money gives options, but identity decides how you use them. Identity and growth. Less performance, more becoming. Your 20s were auditions. Your 30s are the first seasons of performance. The urgent work? Stop performing for approval. Start designing your inner architecture. A man named Eli believed his identity was the dependable one. He'd say yes to everything. In his 30s, he realized dependability had become people-pleasing. He redefined himself. I am dependable to people I choose. That tiny language shift changed boundaries, stress, and respect. The vote method. Every choice is a vote for the person you want to be. Cast it intentionally. The 90% rule: aim for 90% effort in the big things. Perfectionism is a time stealer. The one-word test. Pick one word that represents who you want to be this decade, e.g., builder, present, resilient. Filter decisions through that word. Identity shapes habits. When your identity shifts, your daily life follows. Identity without purpose can feel empty. So ask not only who, but why. Legacy and meaning, the quiet currency. Legacy sounds big. It isn't. It's daily. It's the small decisions that, when repeated, mean something. The neighbor who volunteers 2 hours a week, the manager who mentors one junior hire, the parent who shows up for bedtime. These small acts compound into a life that mattered. Once a month, write one question. If I died in 10 years, what would I regret not doing now? Let that sting. Use it as a compass. For the next 30 days, choose one small thing that advances someone else. A call, a note, a lesson. Tiny deposits build real legacy. Make the 30s yours. Your 20s were about trying. Your 30s are about choosing. Not choosing everything, choosing well. Take this away. Build skills that compound. Build health that sustains. Build relationships that support. Build money systems that free. Build an identity that aligns. Build small acts that become your legacy. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be directional. A 1% daily improvement in the right direction beats frantic chasing every time. Drop a comment. Which one are you committing to this month? Health, money, identity, or relationships? Hit like if you found this useful and subscribe. We'll make your 30s the most productive decade of your life.